Hi everyone, and welcome. It's Make It Happen. Time to have a good chat with some of the guys that I know in the real estate industry. So this afternoon I've got with us, Nick Grassick and Myles Bush. So Nick is this guy, Myles is this guy, and they'll be coming to help us with some questions I've got relating to the real estate industry here in the UAE, how salespeople work in that industry, what they do, what kind of challenges they face, and how they can help other people develop their business and grow. Now, as you know at Make It Happen, a lot of the time I talk about people trying to overachieve, and so I'm always looking out for overachievers, and these two guys are serial overachievers. They've built a successful business here in the UAE called PH Real Estate.
That's right.
Which has been a fantastic company. I've been to their offices, I've seen how they work. Okay, there's a few crazy people in there, but apart from that, it's all good. But I'm going to ask them a few questions. I'll allow them to introduce the company to us, tell us a bit more about what they do and how they do it. And once they've done that, I'm going to start asking difficult questions so that I can really get to understand them. If you're watching, then by all means, click on, let us know that you're watching, ask questions if you've got them. If you want to engage in any way, it's absolutely fine. Please let us know that you're there, okay? If there's stuff that you think you can add value, if there's stuff that you think you want answers to, then we're here to help. Okay, we're going to crack on. So, guys, tell us about the business. Myles, how long has it been going? Tell me the background of the business.
We've been around for the last 9 years. We set the company up 9 years ago. It was myself and a local businessman who set the company up. And then Nick, fortunately, joined the business 4 years back.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yes. Since then, we have doubled the size of the practice in terms of the sales and leasing guys. We are in the process of moving offices. We've set up a conveyancing department. We're doing property management. Conveyancing is on the way. We're looking at commercial. There's different parts of the business now that we're looking to branch out into. Okay,
and when you look at the business from where it was 4 years ago to where it is now, what are the kind of like the wins you've had when you look back and you go, yeah, we did that well, that was really successful for us? What were your wins?
Well, Myles was successful for selling the largest plot of land quite recently. Successful for selling.
Oh, whoa, hold on a minute. Tell me about that.
So,
sorry, what was that?
No, we were fortunate enough to set the record in 2016 for the highest value villa sold in Dubai.
Can you speak up a little bit?
We sold the villa last year for 53 million dirhams. That set the record for 2016. And then 2 weeks back, we actually smashed our own record by selling a plot of land in Meydan, which was 123,000 square feet in size, and that went for a cool 60 million.
So hold on a minute.
We set the record and then we beat the record.
Which is great, but how big is that? How do I imagine?
2.5 football fields.
Right, so the size of 2.5 football pitches is what, a piece of land next to a golf course?
Yep, right on the golf course.
For 60 million dirhams?
60 mil.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, big deal. Which means big commission?
Big commissions, yeah. We did okay.
They did okay. Indeed, interesting. Okay, hi guys. Hi, yeah, 60 mil. Yeah, and indeed, 60 mil. Some big deals. So, tell me about real estate in the UAE. Okay, you've built this business and it's been successful. I obviously know you guys. In the UAE, how has that business, if you compare it to the other companies that are in the marketplace, how is it compared? And then the real estate market itself, really, where is it going right now? Is it a good time to buy in real estate? Is it a good time to buy to sell? Is it a good time to buy to let? Is it a good time to buy to as an end user? Well, what really is this market all about here?
So at the moment, there's a lot of chat in the marketplace. There's a lot of reports saying the market is on its way up. There's then obviously some negativity whereby people are saying, oh, well, I can't get the price I'm looking to sell for. It really depends on the area in which you want to buy, the reasons for which you want to buy. If you are a tenant who has been here for a number of years and you're thinking, you know what, I'm tired of paying dead money to the landlord. I actually want to own something. I'm going to put some roots down here. We're having a family. Buy a house. You know, you're never going to lose when you're enjoying a home. I mean, this is agency, as I was taught 20 odd years ago. In terms of how the marketplace is moving, well, 2020 is now on the horizon. And
why is 2020 significant? Because not everyone watching this is from the UAE.
So Dubai, 3-4 years ago, it was announced that Dubai was successful in securing Expo in 2020.
Expo 2020.
Dubai, more than any other real estate market that I've worked before, and I've worked both London and Sydney, Dubai is purely fueled by sentiment. If the market's feeling good, prices go through the roof. If the market catches a cold, all of a sudden everybody's catching pneumonia. When it was initially announced about 4 years ago that Dubai had secured 2020, all of a sudden the market picked up because there was this feel-good factor.
Okay.
We're now into the latter stages of the run-up towards 2020. There's a lot of press coverage around locally. There's a lot of infrastructure which is taking place. And there's that feel-good factor which is coming back into it. I mean, house prices...
So are you telling me then that that feel-good factor, that the market now, from an investment point of view, is buoyant?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
So if I wanted to buy a property, and right now, across the market is buoyant, or are there selective areas?
Very much selective areas.
Okay, so I've got this. I'm one of these big guys that's got this 60 million dirhams. By the way, Anne just asked. She wanted to know what the percentage of commission was that you got from that deal. I'm sure you don't want to share it.
That's always the first question.
And I'll find out offline for you, and I'll come back and let you know. Okay, for sure, without doubt. Okay, so I've got this amount of money. I want to buy real estate. I want to make the most I can in terms of the growth on the real estate. Give me the top 3 locations in Dubai to buy.
I think that's up to everybody's personal opinion. If you want my personal opinion, I still think there's a lot of mileage in the JLT Dubai Marina area. We see a massive number of inquiries coming into that area. It's always been a very sought after area. People love the facilities. People love the ease of just getting down to the beach. You're right on Sheikh Zayed Road, so I still think that's a great area. Palm Jumeirah, I think if you look globally, everybody always wants to live by the beach, by the sea. Doesn't matter what country you're in, people love living by the sea. So that would be my personal.
So this is for investment.
This is for investment, absolutely. If you were an investor just looking at yields in terms of percentages, and you're just looking at the numbers, then there's a lot to be said for areas like Sport City. You can buy a house, or you can buy an apartment in Sport City, rent it out, and pick up. You can still get 9 or 10% on your money, which is unheard of in England.
It's good.
I'm not sure about Sydney, but in England, impossible. You won't get it. It won't happen. So. Yeah, that's my 3. So that's my 3 choices.
Let me just get this right. So we've got a buoyant market. We've got 2020 Expo coming. You've got good places to make money buying real estate here in the UAE. How many brokers sell real estate here in the UAE? How many people are actually doing your job on the ground? How many companies are there? How many people are there? What's the guesstimate? Because I'm sure you can't know precisely.
It's in the hundreds in terms of companies.
Yeah.
400-500?
I was going to say about 450.
400 or 500 real estate brokerages.
Companies.
Yeah.
Companies.
And
Yeah,
then in the thousands in terms of consultants who operate to one extent or another within that space.
Okay, so does that make it an incredibly competitive marketplace?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm a sales guy. I want to sell real estate in a competitive marketplace. I'm looking for a job, okay, at one of the real estate brokers. Mm-hmm. What have I got to look for to make sure that I'm with a broker that's going to give me the best opportunity to make money and make sales and service clients?
I'll give you a couple of my suggestions. If that was you looking for which company you want to team up with, I'll give you a couple of my suggestions, and perhaps Nick's will be slightly different. First of all, brand recognition, and credibility. You don't want to have your name associated with an agency who aren't known, or who have just entered the market 6 months ago or a year ago. You want to team up. You want to basically going into partnership with an agency, and I think you want to be associated with somebody who's been around for a few years, somebody who's well known, somebody who's reputable. That to me would be key. Second thing would be in terms of a personality fit. That you've got to see these people every single day. You've got to like who you're working with. You've actually got to walk in and think, I enjoy being here. Mm-hmm. A positive atmosphere. And I think, for me, the third thing that I would probably look for is, does the company have an infrastructure which will allow me to make money? In basic terms, that means, am I going to get enough leads? Okay. Because if the company is not reinvesting, if the company is not actually spending money to generate opportunities, then the people can be the nicest people in the world. But you're not going to get, you're not going to make enough money.
So, what people in your industry rely on getting leads provided by their employer?
I think there's a bit of both. I mean, look, the very average brokers out there will sit back and cross their fingers and wait for leads to come to them. That's not the type of people that we would look to employ. We like proactive people. We like go-getters. If there's a few leads coming in through the company, great. But at the same time, there are so many opportunities in Dubai to meet potential buyers and sellers, whether it be in the gym, whether it be on a Friday in the supermarket. You're constantly speaking to people. The people that you're speaking to, they are either renting a property or they're buying a property. It really is that simple. Nobody is living rough in Dubai. They are either a tenant or they are a buyer. Okay. It is that simple. So, yeah, that's my thoughts of what I would look for if I were.
Do you have a different opinion? Do you agree with that, Nick?
I agree. I would then just simply add to that you're looking for a company that is going to support and invest in you as an individual. I mean, we're talking about a commission-only environment here. So whilst it is very competitive and the upsides can be significant because salaries can range anywhere between 50% of the gross commission right the way through to where we provide up to 65% for the higher earners. There is, or can be, a mentality with some of the employers out here, well, I'm not paying this person a basic salary, I'll employ absolutely anybody at all. There's a phone, there's your laptop, sink or swim. You're not looking for that kind of environment. You need to be sure, you need to be confident that you're going to be given the right training and advice and mentorship and
tools,
everything else that goes along with it to assist you to be able to be more successful.
Okay, so that's the perspective of somebody looking for a job selling real estate. Let's flip it on its head. Okay, when you're looking to employ somebody to work in your organisation to sell real estate for you, either selling property or being a leasing agent, I think you call it, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, what kind of characteristics? Give me your top three, Nick, give me your top three, Myles. 3 characteristics, the most important things you look for.
You need to have drive, enthusiasm and energy. There are going to be, and also tenacity.
That's 4, you can't have 4, you can have 3. Drive, enthusiasm, you can't have 4.
Fine. I will go tenacity, drive, enthusiasm.
Okay.
There are going to be days when the deal hasn't gone your way. It's a commission-only role. It could be 100,000 dirhams, which is on the line.
Yeah.
So the consultant's going to be 50 grand. And it won't happen. For whatever reason, beyond your control. The following day, you still need to be able to get up out of bed and go back into the office for 8:45 and get straight back into it. That's key to being successful.
Okay. Myles?
Top of my list would be loyalty. I really do, perhaps I'm a bit old school, but I'm looking at somebody's CV. I will always judge somebody from a personality point of view, but initially I want to see their CV. And if they have bounced from company to company to company, quite frankly, that's not somebody that I want to work with. I want somebody who, I guess kind of bolts onto your point, Nick, in terms of, they can take the rough with the smooth. They've showed a bit of loyalty. They've stuck with 1 or 2 companies for a number of years, and now for whatever reason they're looking for that next step up. So loyalty would definitely be at the top of mine.
Okay.
Being proactive rather than reactive, I think, is so important in this industry as well. Not just this industry, but in sales in general, and hopefully you'd agree with me on that. If you sit back and cross your fingers and wait for things to come to you, you're going to be waiting a very long time.
Yeah.
But if you could actually go out there and get it, chase people, follow up, I think that would be my number 2. And then the third thing is just your general personality and providing a level of customer service. I'm, again, a bit old school. I still believe people buy from people. And, look at the fundamentals of somebody. Are they polite? Are they professional? Are they on time? You go back to the real basics of sales. Are they on time? Are they dressed well? Are they smart? Are they articulate? Am I going to trust them with my money? That's ultimately what it comes down to.
More than 3.
That's about 6,
5 or 6. Yeah, absolutely. It's not just me.
Sorry, mate.
Love it.
I'll just shut up.
Keep going. Okay, so what kind of money can real estate agents, the leasing guys and the sales guys, what kind of money can these top guys earn? If they're really good at their job and they reach the peaks, what kind of income are they earning?
Yeah, they could go into the millions of the dirhams in terms of what they're actually taking home.
Okay, let's just, for the people that are overseas, what's that in dollars or pounds, whatever you want to say?
$350,000
would be $1 million dirhams.
$1 million, yeah.
And then a multiplier up from there.
Yeah. So there's people earning $350,000 a year selling real estate in Dubai?
Yes.
Okay, and is that normal, or is that for a small percentage?
No, that will be for a small percentage.
That's the higher end,
yeah.
but it's doable. If other people are doing it, then everybody can do it ultimately, can't they?
Okay, and what kind of training does exist in your industry for people? I know that they come and join and they get that kind of this 1 week's training at the beginning you hear a lot of, yeah? What kind of training takes place after that? And if they're going to join a business, what kind of training, specific training, should they be looking for?
Look, I can only speak on behalf of our company. We have a pretty in-depth training program for somebody who's joining our company. But it does vary from person to person. If somebody has got 10 years experience within the Dubai market, we're obviously not going to need to teach them about their product because they probably know it better than we do. But if they've just come over from perhaps the UK or from Australia or from America, for example, and they're looking to get into the Dubai real estate market, we start from scratch. We start from the absolute fundamentals and work up. First of all, product knowledge. They've got to know their area. We are not interested as a company, and again, this is only about our company, we're not interested in recruiting masses and masses of people. We want quality over quantity. So the first thing is, can they demonstrate product knowledge?
Yeah, but I want to know, sorry to interrupt you, I want to know what training they can expect that they should look for, yeah?
Yeah, so from initially, we're talking product knowledge, and that's going to be
You're going to train them.
We're going to train, absolutely.
Okay, sorry, I didn't misunderstand.
No, that's fine. Product knowledge is vital, and that can come down to us jumping in a car with them, driving them to their area, and actually, teaching them the area. That could come from the internet.
Okay.
Just downloading, just researching, understanding. It could come from looking at the land department statistics to see what's actually being sold. So then you can look at history, you can get a track record. So that kind of all falls under product knowledge. Do you know your product or do you not know your product? The next thing would be from a paperwork perspective. There's a lot of agencies out here, and I definitely won't name them, but there's a lot of agencies who are very fly-by-night. They don't follow the RERA code of ethics. They do things on a handshake. It's very 1980s, very 1990s. The market's changed. It's evolved, it's developed. So paperwork training to make sure that you've got all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted is vital. And if you've just moved over from the UK, you've got no idea what a Form A, a Form B or a Form F is. So that's our responsibility to teach that.
I've been in 12 years and I haven't.
I'll teach you later.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, how did you get into real estate in the first place? Have you come from a background of being in the real estate industry from overseas, in the UK or something like that?
Yes. So I fell into it at 17, 18.
Why?
Art school dropout and wanted to earn some decent cash.
Okay, so that was your motivation?
Simple as that. Okay. Really liked the idea at the time of having a business card, a laptop and a company expense car. And that was it.
That's how you did it?
That's how I did it. 10 years in the UK, in residential, 5-6 years in Sydney in commercial, and then came out here just as the market imploded. It was an amazing time to get here. House prices were slashed by about 60% over the course of about 18 months. Saw that through, did a certain amount of things with regards to my own training consultancy, and then caught up with this fella for a coffee.
Okay. And how did you get into it? What was your background? What did you do before?
Recruitment, funnily enough. There was a bit of... I started my sales career in Fitness First. I was one of the sales directors of Fitness First in the UK.
Okay.
A friend of mine was working in the recruitment world and said, "Look, Myles, come over here. You'll earn more money." And at the ripe old age, God, we're going back 12 years. So I'd be about 22 years old. I was blinded by the dollar signs and went over to recruitment.
Yeah.
And quite quickly realised that recruitment actually it wasn't for me. As much as I love dealing with people, it's very office-based. And I spoke to friends who were in the world of real estate, and they were constantly, driving around the country, showing people new houses, new apartments, meeting people face to face rather than on the telephone. And I thought, well, that sounds a lot more interesting. That sounds a lot more like me. So I gave it a try. I worked for one of our competitors as soon as I arrived to Dubai, which was 11 years ago, and then 9 years ago, set up PH Real Estate.
Okay. Interesting stories you both got. You've both got.
It wasn't as smooth as that, of course. There's a lot more to it than that. So that's it, like in a 1 minute, in a 1 minute nutshell. Yeah.
Okay. Do you consider yourself good salespeople?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you know how you can identify a good salesperson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so do you think
You're going to try and
there's...
test it?
No, I won't do that. Shall I test it?
An online test or something that you weren't prepared for?
I didn't tell you. I'm not going to tell. Do you know what these guys did? They said to me yesterday, "Please can you send me a list of questions?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Today, please can you send me a list of questions?" I'm like, "No." They said that. Like, well, what questions are you going to ask? I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you the questions. I want you to answer them honestly." You know what people are like sometimes, don't you? It's like come on, let's just be natural and let's engage and find the true person. Okay, so do you think that salespeople in real estate are different to salespeople in financial services or salespeople in car sales or other types of B2C selling?
Not that I've found, no. I think from the people that we've actually interviewed that have come from car sales background, fin services and real estate naturally, if they possess certain attributes and certain skills, certain sales skills, it's all transferable. You're ultimately speaking to a buyer or a seller and you're trying to identify what is it that they need. And then you're trying to work out, well, how can I service that need? Whether you're buying or selling a car, finding out which mortgage people want, it's offering a service.
Okay, I'd agree with that. What's the number one reason people fail?
They believe they can't succeed.
I think there's a lot of people out there who expect it to come to them easily and they're not willing to put in the blood, sweat and tears.
Why is that?
Perception.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a lot of it that's perception. I mean, you might have a different opinion of it, but from my side, I speak to people who, they arrive in Dubai and they suddenly think they're going to become millionaires overnight. And there's this kind of stigma attached to working in a tax-free income, therefore you're going to become loaded in a year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not that simple. You've got to put in, especially when you start off, you've got to put in the blood, sweat and tears. You've got to work the Fridays. You've got to work the Saturdays. You've got to go and meet clients for a dinner in the evening. So lack of energy.
So does the industry then get it wrong by recruiting sometimes the wrong people into the industry to start with?
I think all industries could be guilty of that.
I'll give you that.
To a certain extent. We vet candidates as carefully as we possibly can. And we do a very good job of that. We've got a dedicated HR manager who does a brilliant job of that. But from time to time, there is somebody who talks a great game, over an interview, tells you what you want to hear, and doesn't back it up. And occasionally, they find out the hard way.
Indeed. Okay, if anybody's got any questions real estate related or real estate sales related, then by all means you can ask those questions. If they don't come through while we're live, then by all means I'll get them answered for you afterwards. Sitting here with these two guys, they're two unusual characters for me because I've met a lot of people in the real estate industry here in Dubai, and if I'm honest with you, there's lots of average people. There are a few people out there that are impressive, and the impressive people, it's such a shame that they're few and far between. It would be so good, in my opinion, if there were more people like Nick and Myles that were out there doing the job that they do on a regular basis. I've watched over recent months and been involved a little bit with their business and watched how their company is growing. They've had a nightmare moving into new offices recently, which has taken the best part of 6 or 7 months to get you new offices.
7 and counting.
Yeah.
Are you in yet?
Next week.
No!
Still.
You were supposed to be in January?
Yes.
Okay. There's the trials and tribulations, maybe, of sometimes living in Dubai. Some of the bits you don't always know and understand about. Okay, well look guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this session. Remember, what I intend to do is get as many people as possible that have got a sales background to come and share their story of their industry. For me teaching you, it's really important that if you're going to get into the world of sales, or even you're in the world of sales currently, that you choose an industry that suits you. I don't think that it's a difficult industry to get into to be successful. I certainly don't believe it's a difficult industry to enjoy. And based on what these guys are saying, there's people that earn decent money in it as well. Is it competitive? Yes, but anything worth having is going to be tough and it's going to be challenging, and you have to get stuck in, put all of your energy into it and fight with every ounce of energy that you've got. Now, whether that's the guys over at Forever Living that I've been talking to over recent time, whether it's guys in financial services, wealth management, insurance broking, or the people in real estate, the successful ones always rise to the top, and the common denominators to me are always very, very clear. They're prepared to outwork everybody else, they remain positive, focused, optimistic, and they have a fantastic attitude. If you're someone like that, I'm sure you're going to have a great success in your career, whatever it is you pursue. If you're not, my thought must be with you to think maybe you should change that, maybe you could rethink that, maybe you can do something about it. Guys, thank you so much this afternoon for coming to join me. Really enjoyed you coming over. They're very smart, aren't they? It's me sitting here. I haven't got my tie on today. Okay, they're very smart. If you want to find out more about Nick and Myles, they'll be going live every week from next week onwards themselves on their own channel. But you can also go to their website, and we'll put the details at the end of this video for you to get access to them should you want to talk to them about either opportunities or questions that you've got relating to the industry, or maybe you've got a house to sell or a house to buy. Who knows? I'll leave it with you. Take care, everybody. Remember, whatever you do today, tomorrow, and the next day, you get out there and make it happen. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye now.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks.